Sunday, 9 p.m. The streets of Romeoville, Illinois are calm. It's the kind of quiet that blankets a typical suburban night. Families winding down, lights dimmed, the hum of television sets in the distance. But at one house, something is off. The front yard is still, the porch light off. Repeated knocks go unanswered. No movement, no sound, just silence. Except for one thing, a faint glow coming from a room in the back. It's the only sign of life in an otherwise lifeless scene. A neighbor notices. Family members grow increasingly anxious. And when the police arrive for a routine welfare check, they have no idea they're about to walk into a waking nightmare. What they find inside is beyond comprehension. A gruesome scene that speaks of terror and chaos. But more than that, a web of betrayal, manipulation, and psychological warfare. A love triangle twisted into a horrifying plan, devised not by a criminal, mastermind, but by someone consumed by jealousy and rage. A story so bizarre, so unbelievable, it sounds like something out of a horror movie, but it's all real. It all began with 2 urgent calls to the Romeoville Police Department. It was Sunday, September 17th, 2023, a seemingly ordinary evening in a quiet suburban town. But for the Balome family, silence had stretched on for far too long. Zoraida Balome, 32, hadn't returned any messages or answered a single call. Her husband, Alberto, 38, was also unreachable. And their sons, Adriel, 9, and Diego, 7, hadn't been seen or heard from since the previous night. Zoraida's mother, worried sick, was the first to call the police. She described her growing fear, how she'd tried all day to get in touch, but nothing. Minutes later, Zoraida's sister made a second call, backing up every word. They explained that this wasn't normal behavior. This was a close-knit family who spoke daily. Earlier that day, a relative had taken matters into their own hands, driving to the family's home. They knocked on the door, rang the bell, even peered through windows. Everything was still. No lights, no noise, no movement. It was as if the house had been frozen in time. But the most chilling clue came from Alberto's employer. He hadn't shown up for work that day. For a man known to be punctual, dependable, who had never missed a single shift, this was completely out of character. That's when the realization truly set in. Something wasn't just wrong. Something was very, very wrong. At 8:45 p.m., police arrived at the Balome residence on Concord Avenue. Their approach was cautious. Doors locked, lights out, no response. To knocks or calls, they circled the home, peering through windows, their flashlights slicing through the dark. What they saw inside made their stomachs drop. A television toppled over. Furniture overturned. Signs of a struggle. But the most haunting sight, 2 motionless dogs lying on the floor, unmoving. Through the rear of the home, a door was found, unlocked. They entered. Inside, a silence hung heavy. And then, the nightmare unfolded. In the hallway, the body of Alberto, shot multiple times. Deeper into the house, in the master bedroom, they found Zoraida and their 2 children. All dead, all shot. Their bodies huddled together in a corner, as if they had been trying to hide. The room's door had been broken in. Shell casings littered the floors. Bullet holes pierced the walls. It wasn't just a murder. It was a massacre. And the question now wasn't just what happened, but why. News of the tragedy spread fast, shaking the quiet town to its core. Everyone who knew the family was stunned. There were no signs of trouble, no history of domestic violence, no criminal records. Zoraida and Alberto were known as hard-working, loving parents. Financially, they were stable. Just recently, both had received promotions at work. On the surface, it made no sense. But detectives started digging, interviewing co-workers, friends, and relatives. That's when a new thread began to unravel, one that hinted at betrayal and obsession. It turned out Zoraida had been having an affair with a co-worker named Nathaniel Huey. Alberto had found out. He had confronted Nathaniel in the past. Tensions were high, but nothing could prepare investigators for what they would learn next. A disturbing plot, woven through lies and fear, and set in motion by someone closer than anyone imagined. Nathaniel Huey wasn't just Zoraida's secret lover. He was engaged to another woman, Armelinda. And Armelinda knew about the affair. What she did next would turn this tragedy into something almost cinematic in its insanity. Consumed by jealousy and rage, Armelinda crafted a fake criminal underworld. She catfished her own fiancé, posing as members of powerful cartels and Eastern European gangs. For more than a year, she bombarded Nathaniel with threatening messages from fake accounts and numbers, telling him he was being watched, that his life was in danger, that Zoraida was a traitor, and that the only way to protect himself was to eliminate her. It was psychological warfare, and Nathaniel, already paranoid by nature, fell for it completely. What began as an affair had escalated into a delusion, one that would end in blood. In the early hours of Sunday, September 17th, under the cover of darkness, Nathaniel Huey approached the Bolomé home. Armelinda waited in the car, walkie-talkie in hand. It was 3:40 a.m. Nathaniel scaled the fence, entered through the back, and shot Alberto as he ran down the hallway. He forced his way into the master bedroom where Zoraida and the children had been hiding. He opened fire, killing them all. Even the family dogs were executed. It was over in minutes. A cold, calculated killing, guided by a voice on the other end of a radio. One driven by vengeance, the other by manipulation. And together, they left behind a house soaked in grief. Within days, police tracked the couple to Oklahoma. At a Walmart parking lot, they were spotted, calm, as if nothing had happened. But when officers approached, they fled. A high-speed chase followed, then a crash. Gunshots rang out. Armelinda had been shot in the head. Nathaniel had turned the gun on himself. Both were dead. The story ended on a highway, far from where it began. A love triangle twisted by obsession. A lie so massive it created an alternate reality. And at its center, 4 innocent lives, gone. A tragedy that left a town in mourning. And a country in disbelief. If this story shocked you like it did me, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to dive deeper into how real crimes can start so subtly, click on the next video appearing now. Take care, and see you next time.